Hey everyone, good afternoon. Yep, I just had a checkout time. Good afternoon. Happy Over the Hump Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I haven't done this in a while. There's been a lot going on in my life. Right now, a lot of changes, a lot of future things are going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I haven't posted in a while. But as I posted yesterday, I'm going to actually do a little story time because probably think in the next day or two or a little bit more, it's going to mark the 8th anniversary of when the Studio Backlot Tour closed at Disney Hollywood Studios. I had the pleasure and honor of working at the attraction during the time, just leading up to its closing. That was my first attraction that I worked with when working for the Walt Disney World Company back in 2014. Just a little over, probably about a year with the company. And I know when I got the transfer to pretty much go over there, I was very excited because one of my representatives at Coronado Springs told me it was like he saw shuttles. And I really didn't know the terminology. And one thing I thought was, oh my God, I'm going to drive the shuttles at the Studio Backlot Tour. I had multiple trainers train me, one for each and every day. It was such an awesome welcoming into the Disney attraction life, being a cast member, as an attraction host. The trainers, the staff, the coordinators, the leaders, some of the great cast members, highly influential on how to spread magic and joy, and being part of an awesome team and an awesome attraction. That attraction was the first attraction that closed to start the whole transformation of Hollywood Studios, because that's a little bit part of that takes up now Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge, Batu East Side. Originally, Studio Backlot Tour was about 2.5 hours long. Originally started actually in the area where it was known as the Launch Bay, back when it was the magic of Disney Animation, which I also had the pleasure of working that area as well. And you can still see, if you go over there in Launch Bay, you can see part of the queues. You could figure it out. I was like, you could see how this was a queue. When I was working also Magic of Disney Animation, we actually had some guests that came up to me asking, where is the Studio Backlot Tour, which I had to inform them, just to sad to say that it's actually gone. It got shortened down to pretty much where it actually had it was a two-part show. The first part was a tanker show, where you got to show a little more behind the scenes of how movie magic made with Michael Bay. I put a video on my Instagram, you could look it up, of actually me. I was in the tank, and I got poured with gallons upon gallons of cold, refreshing water in that Florida heat. Then once that's done, you go over to the shuttle, which they take you through pretty much the backlot. That includes Catastrophe Canyon, 2 graveyards, costuming, set designs, and throughout the whole entire journey, you actually got to see a lot of props and mover memorabilia. And surprisingly, a lot of things. You go into the prop warehouse. They had a lot of props from TVs, films, but surprisingly, they also had quite a bit of props from attractions. There was stuff from Body Wars, from Epcot, a lot of Rocketeer stuff, because for some reason there's a lot of Rocketeer stuff, or used to be. Now I think the only remnants of the Rocketeer I think is over at Pease. It's over by the Hollywood and Vine ICs, or by Echo Lake. If you look on the side, you'll see a jetpack and also the Rocketeer's helmet, which is actually really amazing. A lot of people, when actually drove them by, they had a snow speeder and a skiff from Jabba's. A lot of people thought that was from the movies, and it turns out they were not props from the movie. In fact, they were part of an entrance set that was over at the Star Tours which is now the Jedi Training Academy, which came to light, and also the Flight of the Navigator spaceship. I think they redid that and they painted that over. Now it's on a drink stand over at Magic Kingdom. There was one thing that was from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but it wasn't from the movie. It was actually a photo op area that actually they had in the park where you could put your head underneath the steamroller, as it gave the illusion as you're being run over, like how Judge Doom did in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And it was also one of the only attractions that actually had a restroom in the queue. Well, one of the main reasons why it did is because of the fact that you're there for 2.5 hours. You gotta go. Because when I worked at Flight of Passage, there was a lot of people that pretty much, they wait 4 hours, they need to use the restroom, and we had to come up with something kind of system so guests could actually go use the bathroom, because at the time when the attraction first opened, it was looking at about a 4-hour wait, and now they got restrooms. So now, if Studio Backlot was open, there would have been 2 attractions that actually restrooms. But now it's just one, the Flight of Passage. It was an amazing attraction. I loved hitting the marks. I was like getting the shaker tables, seeing those Catastrophe Canyon, and I really think in Batu, because one of the differences between Batu East and Batu West is this, I think there's going to be a little planner where they have, I think, in East, but I want to say it's as you're heading towards Toy Story Land. You can see it on the distance. You have the Droid Depot right over here. And if you look straight ahead towards Toy Story Land on your left, you're going to see a crater. I think that crater, I want to say, might have been the location for the entrance for the Studio Backlot or Catastrophe Canyon in itself. Just the way it's designed. I'm not too sure if that's a paying homage to it, because I know it definitely took up a lot of land, but I'm just going by pretty much a feeling of the area of actually walking and driving those shuttles from time to time. It was such an awesome attraction, especially around when they were getting ready for the Osborne Dancing Lights spectacle. They would get started in August to get set up for the holidays. And that was such a beautiful, beautiful event. I really wish they would bring that back, because that, to me, I felt, even though the decorations that they got at Hollywood Studios, I think is just amazing. I think they're better than Magic Kingdom, Epcot, just the way it feels more Christmas, but holidays felt more when seeing this spectacle of dancing lights, and I would so love for them to bring that back. Or somewhere else general. I always thought pretty much it was like at Universal that could actually, I thought about when that New York or Production Central area, that would be an awesome area for it. They got the Christmas tree and all that. And also a thing for the spectacle of dancing lights, they had a Halloween cat that rotated on I think a weekly or daily basis. But one of the downfalls, I'm venturing off, I definitely do apologize. When it got towards the end of working at Studio Backlot, we never thought it was going to close, because due to the fact that it was a day one. It was a day one attraction since Disney Hollywood Studios opened up. There where I worked with the cast member Keith. If you go to Walt Disney World Presents, that has the One Man's Dream. Keith, I'm not too sure if he's still there or not. He was one of the shuttle drivers. He was actually he worked at attraction, the Studio Backlot, 24 of its 25 years of operation. So if you're ever in the park, see him. He's definitely plethora of wealth of knowledge. Or Tim, I don't know if he's still there. It's been a while since I've seen them. But we never thought it was going to close till all of a sudden, when you exit off the ride, you exited through AFI, American Film Institute. It was a museum which had props from actual props that were used on set, on screen, for movies from like Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, Superman, Batman, a whole plethora of film. And they also had a little shop where you can get autographed pictures that are signed by celebrities, of actors and actresses of well-known films. Once that closed up, rumors started happening to concerned about the attraction is on the chopping block. And it was still so odd because due to the fact that they bought 4 new shuttles just before closing the attraction. And I want to say, I think some of those, by seeing the box truck that's used for the Star Cruiser that brings you from the Halcyon to Batu, I want to say, I think those cab parts are, the truck vehicles are being used, because just something about the shape, the look of it, kind of resembles almost how the Studio Backlot truck looked, except white instead of the usual red. But I've been actually going on this a little longer than I thought. I hope you enjoy this a little bit. A bunch of stories and information dealing about the Studio Backlot Tour. I still upset the fact that they never got any merch or shutdown merch that it's going out, because I think the Spectacle was going, and then Great Movie Ride, I started seeing, it's like, oh, celebrating the closing of an attraction. It's like, it would have been nice to see some merch, because that was a really awesome attraction. And it's really, the only thing that's left there since day one is actually, I want to say, is it the 50s prime time? If you know what it is that's still so far there since day one, leave a comment to this. But I'm going to head out and get this posted. But I hope everyone has a great, fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week. Stay safe, stay healthy, never ever lose that smile, and I love the way it looks on you. Take care. Love y'all. Bye-bye.